Well, I've been doing animal rescue for 20 years. Bottom line is the seniors and the special needs, they don't have any place to go. They require a lot of care. They require a lot of knowledge. They require a lot of expertise. Our animals live much longer than anybody expects them to. You know, animals that we get in that we think are going to be dead in 2 weeks, 18 months later are still with us. And it's because we can control their symptoms. Because of my nursing background, I'm comfortable with death. I realize that all lives do eventually end. And it's not the ending that's important. It's the stuff that leads up to it. The animals are incredible. We have dogs who literally are going to die any time now, and yet they run around and they play. They go for walks. They eat their cookies. They boss me around. They boss each other around. They live their lives to the fullest, and that's a real gift to be able to see that, because most of us, when we get sick and somebody says you have a terminal disease, our lives end at that moment, and we all of a sudden become sick. Whereas animals don't do that. Give them the medications that they need to feel good, and they'll just keep doing whatever they're doing. So Rosebud, I got a call from one of the animal controls. They had a very senior Rottweiler cross who was quite crippled that they were considering putting down. And I went to meet her. She was really weak in the back end. Her back end was always sagging down towards the ground. She was very hand shy if you touched her. She was emaciated, really thin. She was dirty. I fell in love with her immediately, brought her home. She, when we took her into the vets, she had one side of her rib cage was caved in. The vet said that probably somebody had been booting her. She had glaucoma. We had to take out one of her eyes. If you touched her along her sides, she would fall to the ground screaming. She broke everybody's hearts here, and the volunteers and myself, we just fell in love with her. And so all of us became the slave to Rose, and the volunteers would actually cook for her at home and bring her special dinners when they come on their volunteer days. Within a week or so, she would, in her crippled crab-walked way, she would kind of slide across the floor to you, and any person she could get next to, that she could lay her head in your hands, and that's all she wanted. She just wanted to sit there for hours with her head in your hands. She probably had about 6 months with us. Her eye had healed, and she had just the one that she could see out of. But the interesting thing about Rose is that even though she had this horrible life where I don't think any day of it was ever easy for her, all she cared about at the end of her life was that so many people loved her and held her and cooked for her and did everything we can to make her happy. All of the animals have in some way tried to give a lifetime of service to humans, and in the end we weren't willing to give them a lifetime of care, and that's why they've come to Saints. The animals that came here did well. They had fun. They enjoyed themselves. When we know we've done our job, when we feel and the animal feels that their life was valued.